Welcome to the Speak Peace to My Soul channel, where we seek Christ, deepen our discipleship, and find quiet strength in His Word. This week, we're diving into Doctrine and Covenants 46 through 48, powerful chapters that reveal how the Lord strengthens, guides, and protects His people. Today, we'll start with how spiritual gifts are given to bless and unify the saints. Let's take a moment to calm and ground our hearts and minds through a 4-7-8 breathing exercise that invites the Lord into this moment. Inhale to the count of 4 while saying in your mind, "Be still and know." Hold to the count of 7. Exhale to the count of 8 while saying in your mind, "God gives gifts to bless His people." Spiritual gifts are given by God, and we are invited to seek them. Doctrine and Covenants 46:8-9 teaches, "Wherefore beware lest ye are deceived, and that ye may not be deceived, seek ye earnestly the best gifts, always remembering for what they are given. For verily I say unto you, they are given for the benefit of those who love me and keep all my commandments." Let's do a deep dive into this verse because its message is rich with both caution and promise. Wherefore beware lest ye are deceived. This begins with a warning. In the early days of the Restoration, the saints were learning how to discern between spiritual impressions from God and counterfeit manifestations, just as we must learn to do in our day. The Lord doesn't say if deception will come, He says beware, which implies it is a present and active danger. Spiritual deception is subtle. It often mimics truth or feels spiritual but leads us away from God rather than toward Him. And that ye may not be deceived, seek ye earnestly the best gifts. The Lord gives the antidote to deception. Seek spiritual gifts. Not casually, not occasionally, but earnestly. The Greek root for earnest conveys a sense of sincerity, intensity, and purpose. But what are the best gifts? The answer is not about status or flashiness. It's about what is most needed for your calling, your circumstances, and the people around you. In one setting, the best gift might be the gift of healing to bless a sick child. In another, it might be the gift of wisdom to guide a family through a crisis. For a teacher, the best gift might be the ability to teach by the Spirit. For a parent, it might be the quiet gift of patience or discernment. The best is relative to the need, and God knows what will be most powerful and helpful in the moment. Moroni 10 and 1 Corinthians 12 list gifts like the gift of tongues, healing, faith, prophecy, knowledge, and interpretation of tongues. Doctrine and Covenants 46 adds others, such as the gift to believe on others' testimony or to know that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. When we ask in faith for the best gifts, we are saying, "Lord, use me in whatever way blesses your children most." Seeking spiritual gifts helps us stay grounded in the Spirit, aligned with divine purpose, and protected from deception. This isn't about chasing the most impressive gifts. It's about sincerely desiring to align with God's will and become instruments in His hands. Seeking spiritual gifts helps us stay grounded in the Spirit, always remembering for what they are given. The Lord calls us to remember the purpose of these gifts. They aren't for show, they're not for personal glory or to prove one's spiritual superiority. When we forget their purpose, we risk misusing them or growing prideful. But when we keep their purpose in mind, they remain pure, powerful, and edifying. For verily I say unto you, they are given for the benefit of those who love me and keep all my commandments. Here, the Lord reveals who receives these gifts, those who love Him and keep His commandments. Love and obedience are the foundation for receiving and magnifying spiritual gifts. They are not earned through perfection, but received through a willing heart and faithful living. And the phrase "for the benefit" is key. These gifts are never meant to isolate or elevate us. They are meant to bless others. Every spiritual gift, whether it be the gift of healing, discernment, knowledge, or faith, is ultimately for the strengthening of the body of Christ. In summary, verses 8-9 invite us to be vigilant against spiritual deception. Seek spiritual gifts earnestly and with pure intent. Remember that gifts are for service, not status. Love the Lord and live in obedience so He can work through us. This is a call to both awareness and action. The Lord is not just distributing gifts randomly. He is entrusting them to those who desire to serve, protect, and uplift His children. When we seek them earnestly and use them with love, we become powerful instruments in His work. We also read in 1 Corinthians 12 and in Moroni 10 that spiritual gifts are diverse, but they all come from the same Spirit. That means the gift of healing and the gift of faith, the gift of tongues and the gift to believe on others' words. They are all sacred, all necessary, and all given for our good. These gifts are not signs of favoritism. They are evidence of the Lord's love and His divine design to bless His children. They are tools for service, not trophies for self-worth. So what are we supposed to do? We are to seek them, pray for them, ask for discernment to recognize the gifts we've been given, and trust that even if our gift seems small, it matters greatly to God. Now let's go deeper. The Lord gives different gifts to different people, on purpose. Doctrine and Covenants 46:11-12 says, "For all have not every gift given unto them, for there are many gifts, and to every man is given a gift by the Spirit of God. To some is given one, and to some is given another." This is important. No one has all the gifts. We're not supposed to. That's why we need each other. The sister with the gift of mercy can comfort the one who's grieving. The young man with the gift of testimony can inspire someone who's struggling to believe. A teacher with the gift to teach by the Spirit can help open minds and hearts in a way that uplifts the whole class. This variety of gifts knits us together. We become one body with many members, as Paul says, and each part is essential. Elder Marvin J. Ashton once said, "One of the greatest tragedies of life is for a person to look at someone else's strengths and overlook their own." Let that sink in for a moment. The gifts God has given you matter. President Russell M. Nelson once taught, "When you reach up for the Lord's power in your life with the same intensity that a drowning person has when grasping and gasping for air, power from Jesus Christ will be yours." Drawing the power of Jesus Christ into our lives, April 2017. Spiritual gifts are one way that divine power is extended into our lives, not to elevate us, but to empower us to serve and strengthen others in the Lord's name. They're not meant to compete with anyone else's. They're meant to complete the body of Christ. But there's another reason spiritual gifts are so important. They protect us from deception and strengthen us in these latter days. Doctrine and Covenants 46:7-8 reminds us that the adversary will try to deceive us, but spiritual gifts, when used righteously, become a defense. The gift of discernment helps us recognize truth. The gift of wisdom helps us navigate challenges. The gift of faith helps us move forward when life feels uncertain. And the Lord tells us in verse 30, "He that asketh in the Spirit shall receive in the Spirit." So if you're unsure what your gifts are, ask. If you feel weak in your spiritual senses, seek. And if you've recognized a gift in yourself, don't hide it. Use it to serve, uplift, and protect. Here are some ways to unlock your spiritual gifts. Pray sincerely and specifically to know your gifts. Ask the Lord what He has placed within you. Live in obedience and love for God, because spiritual gifts flow through purity and purpose. Observe what the Spirit magnifies when you serve others. That's often where your gift operates. Ask trusted leaders or loved ones what spiritual strengths they see in you. Gifts are often visible to others. Use your gifts even in small ways, because consistent use invites greater spiritual power. Let's take a moment for personal reflection. What spiritual gifts have you noticed in others that have blessed your life? What might the Lord be inviting you to develop, nurture, or recognize more fully in yourself? If you're ready to use your spiritual gifts for good, type in the comments, "I want to use my gifts for good." Spiritual gifts are not just for prophets or apostles. They are for you. The Lord knows your capacity to bless others. Trust that He is already equipping you for your divine work. Until next time, let us keep walking in faith, together, one step at a time, trusting God with every part of the journey.